Hi, Harris and Sebastian. Dexter, you're not in the frame.
Okay, hello.
Tonight, me and Dexter are going to read you Burglar Bill. Burglar Bill lives by himself in a tall house full of stolen property. Every night he has stolen fish and chips and a cup of stolen tea for supper. Then he swings a big stolen sack over his shoulder and goes off to work, stealing things. Every morning, Burglar Bill comes home from work and has stolen toast and marmalade and a stolen cup of coffee for breakfast. Then he goes upstairs and sleeps all day in a comfortable stolen bed. One night, Burglar Bill is working in a little street behind the police station. When he comes to the first house, he climbs in through the bathroom window and shines his torch around.
That's a nice toothbrush,
says Burglar Bill. And he puts it into his sack. When he comes to the second house, he climbs in through the kitchen window and shines his torch around.
That's a nice tin of beans,
says Burglar Bill.
I love that.
And he puts it into his sack. When he comes to the third house, he climbs in through the bedroom window and shines his torch around.
That's a nice hat and coat and a pair of trousers and socks and shoes,
says Burglar Bill.
I love that.
And he puts them into his sack. When he comes to the 16th house, he stops. There on the front step is a big brown box with little holes in it.
That's a nice big brown box with little holes in it. I love that,
says Burglar Bill. In the distance, the town hall clock strikes 5.
Time to stop work,
says Burglar Bill. He swings the stack over his shoulder and picks up the box and goes home to have his breakfast. After breakfast, Burglar Bill plays with his cat by the fire. Suddenly, he hears a noise.
Sounds like a police car,
says Burglar Bill. But the noise is coming from the big brown box. And it's getting louder.
Sounds like 2 police cars,
says Burglar Bill. He creeps up to the box and raises the lid.
I don't know where it is. Blow me down. It ain't no police car, it's a baby.
Burglar Bill puts the baby on the table.
I can't see it. What was you doing in that box, baby?
He says, but the baby only keeps on crying.
All alone,
says Burglar Bill. He pats the baby's little hand.
An orphan.
But the baby only keeps on crying. Then Burglar Bill says,
I know what you want. Grub.
Burglar Bill gives an apple to the baby, but still the baby cries. He gives a slice of toast and marmalade to the baby, but still the baby cries. He gives a plate of beans and a cup of tea to the baby. The baby eats the beans and throws the cup of tea on the floor and starts to laugh.
That's better,
says Burglar Bill.
I like a few beans myself. I have to point at it. No, I know.
Burglar Bill sits by the fire and wonders what to do. The baby is crying again. He gives the baby a football to play with. The baby throws the football at the cat and keeps on crying. He gives the baby a book to look at. The baby bites a hole in the book and keeps on crying. He sings a song and plays the piano to the baby. The baby cries louder than ever. he falls off the piano stool and bangs his nose on the floor. The baby laughs and shouts,
"Again! Again?"
says Burglar Bill. He rubs his nose.
"I didn't want to do it the first time."
Burglar Bill bounces the baby on his knee.
"So you can talk?"
He says.
"Say, Burglar Bill." "Burglar Bill,"
says the baby.
"Say, Peter Piper picked a pickle pepper."
Says Burglar Bill.
"Burglar Bill,"
says the baby. Suddenly, Burglar Bill feels his knee getting wet and smells a smell.
"Pooh," he says. "I know what you want. Pooh,"
says the baby. Burglar Bill changes the baby's nappy. He doesn't have another one, so he uses an old bath towel instead.
"Say, for he's a jolly good fellow for changing my nappy,"
says Burglar Bill. Burglar Bill plays with the baby and shows it round the house. He feeds it again, changes its nappy, washes her clothes and hangs them on a line in the little kitchen. When night comes, he takes the baby for a walk in the park.
"Say, run for it if you see anybody."
Said Burglar Bill.
"Run for it,"
says the baby.
"Run for it."
At 12 o'clock, Burglar Bill comes home, puts the baby to bed and goes to bed himself. Soon he is snoring softly and dreaming of his childhood days. Suddenly he wakes up. Downstairs there's a noise. It's the noise that Burglar Bill has heard before. The noise of someone opening a window and climbing carefully in.
"Blow me down. I'm being burgled,"
says Burglar Bill. Burglar Bill creeps to the top of the stairs. Down below a torch is shining and a voice says, "That's a nice umbrella. I love that." Burglar Bill creeps down the stairs. The voice says, "That's a nice tin of beans. I love that." Burglar Bill creeps along the hallway and into the kitchen. The voice says, "That's a nice dainty walnut cake with buttercream filling and icing on the top. I love that." Burglar Bill puts on the light. There, with a black mask over her eyes and her hand in the bread bin, stands a lady.
"Who are you?"
says Burglar Bill. "I'm Burglar Betty," says the lady. "Who are you?" Burglar Bill puts on his own mask. "Oh," says Burglar Betty, "I know you. It's Burglar Bill. I seen your picture in the Police Gazette." Then she says, Look here, I'm ever so sorry breaking in like this. If I'd have known."
"I don't know where it is." "Don't mention it,"
says Burglar Bill. He holds out his hand.
"Pleased to meet you."
"Likewise, I'm sure," Burglar Betty said. Burglar Bill makes a jug of cocoa and opens a packet of ginger biscuits. The two burglars sit round the kitchen table. "You married, Bill?" says Burglar Betty.
"No, the right woman never came along."
He offers the biscuits to Burglar Betty. She takes one and dips it in her cocoa. "Only I just wondered," she says, "seeing all these baby things."
Mum. "Oh, I got a baby. Found it in a doorstep in a box."
"In a box?" says Burglar Betty.
That's right.
Says
A big
Burglar Bill.
brown box with little holes in it.
A big brown box with little holes in it. Says Burglar Betty.
That's right.
Says Burglar Bill. Well, blow me down, says Burglar Betty. That baby's mine. The two burglars hurry upstairs to the baby's room. That's him, says Burglar Betty. She swings the baby up in the air. You see, he's got this little birthmark on his leg, and these are his own little clothes as well, what his grandma knit him. Back in the kitchen, Burglar Bill makes a fresh jug of cocoa and opens a packet of arrowroot biscuits. Meanwhile, Burglar Betty tells him how she lost the baby. You see, I just left him on that doorstep for a minute while I was burgling the house, and then when I came out he was gone. I thought the police had got him.
Oh, where's it? I'm not gonna... I only thought it was a useful sort of box,
said Burglar Bill.
I never known there was a baby in there until I got home.
Burglar Betty gets ready to leave.
Where? I suppose your husband will be glad when you get back,
said Burglar Bill. No, he won't, said Burglar Betty. I ain't got no husband. She dabs a little hanky to her eyes. You see, I'm a widow lady.
What about a widow man? Is that anything?
She's a lady.
Why?
Burglar Bill walks through the town with Burglar Betty and the baby. It's your turn, Dexter. Dexter.
You know, Betty.
He says,
Getting burgled like that give me a fright.
I know what you mean, said Burglar Betty. Losing my baby like that gave me a fright.
Betty? I can see the error of my ways. Betty? I've been a bad. Our river just ate my foot. Oh, that hurt. Ooh. I've been a bad man.
Me too, said Burglar Betty. I've been a bad woman. I've been a terrible woman. Just then the baby starts to cry. Shh, says Burglar Betty. You'll have the police after us. Burglar Bill looks over his shoulder.
From now on, you're nibbling my toe too much. He's not hurting me, he's just nibbling me. So, from now on, I'm gonna lead an honest life. Oh, that hurt.
All them things you've pinched you're going to put back, are you? Yeah, all those things I've pinched as well, said Burglar Betty. We are going to
Hey, look.
put them back. So Burglar Bill stops being a burglar, and after a time he starts working as a bread man in the local bakery. Burglar Betty stops being a burglar as well. When springtime comes, she sells her house and gives the money to the police benevolent fund. Then she gets married to Burglar Bill. Outside the church, Bill stands with the baby in his arms. Say,
Oh,
say,
Bakery Bill.
He says.
Bakery Bill,
Says the baby. Say, for he's a jolly good fella for marrying my mum, says Burglar Bill. Say, for she's a jolly good fella for marrying him, Betty says. In the distance, the town hall strikes floor.
Floor?
Yep.
He strikes floor.
Full silence, strikes the floor. Bill, Betty and the baby leave the church,
Oh, that really hurt.
walk down a little street behind the police station,
Oh.
and go home to have their tea. And there's Bakery Bill standing with a nice freshly baked loaf of bread.
Oh, that's really hurt.
Hope you enjoyed your story.
Love you.
Oh, love you.